I hope all that celebrated had an amazing Christmas. The day after Christmas is almost like a detox day. All the work that we put into making the season special and making Christmas morning magical. It's a lot of work. And as the kids have gotten older, I tell them that their gift to me is one person opening one gift at a time so that I can actually see the reaction and watching the months of my labor and my love pay off. I actually use the analogy of Thanksgiving dinner that you put all of that work into that dinner and it's eaten in less than 20 minutes. It's the same with Christmas morning. I don't want it over before it actually begins. And I want to enjoy it. Ashley actually had the idea of everyone picking one gift to open later in the day, and I loved that idea. But the other two kids overruled it. So everyone opened their gifts in the morning. We had lots of smiles, a few tears, but overall, we had a wonderful Christmas. So now that Christmas Day is behind us, my focus shifts to the new year. I really want you moms to make the most out of 2024. And if you've listened to enough of my episodes, there are a few common themes to have a balanced life. The two biggest are having a plan and giving yourself grace. Having a plan with anything in life makes anything you do easier, from planning your grocery store list so you're not aimlessly walking around the supermarket and buying things you don't need and not buying the things you actually do need, to planning your vacation and creating an itinerary of things you want to do and see. The same goes for your year. If you want to accomplish a goal, you need to take the time to actually plan out how you are going to achieve that goal. In my coaching session packages, we focus on goals. I work with you to help you get clarity on what it is that you really want to accomplish. Do you want to go for that promotion at work without it impacting your family life? Do you want to get in better shape and find time to actually make it to the gym 3 times a week? Or are you crazy like me and have a dream to start your own business and have no idea how to do it without cloning yourself? Or do you simply just want to get more organized and in control of your schedule so you don't feel burnt out and can actually have quality time with your family? I meet you wherever you are in your journey, and we start by creating clear goals, and then we map out your week and build in routines to help you actually accomplish those goals. We meet weekly to check in, to discuss what worked, what didn't work, and what you may need to tweak to do better in the next week. And for a limited time, I'm offering $50 off my 1-month coaching packages. Check out the link in my show notes or my website, momwifecareerlife.com. In today's episode, I'm walking you through how to set up yourself for a successful 2024. So now it's time to get to work. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Kerri, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. We're jumping right in today because I want you to spend as much of your free time that you have this week, and let's face it, we're moms, so we don't have a lot, working on your goals. So grab that notebook and grab your favorite pen and let's get started. Number 1, set clear goals. I did an entire episode about SMART goals. It's episode number 5. I'll link it in the show notes, and I encourage you to listen to it if you really want to crush your goals. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So breaking that down, your goal should be specific, black and white. If you want to lose weight, put a number to it. I want to lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds. If you want to exercise, go to the gym 3 times a week, budget, maybe you want to pay down some debt. What number do you want to pay off by the end of the year or by a certain date? When you're specific, then you can actually measure them because you have a number or a date that you need to track to. Attainable and relevant and time-bound can go hand in hand. Make your goals realistic and relevant to you. If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, aiming to lose 20 pounds in a month is not realistic or even healthy, unless you have a very large number to lose. If your goal is to run a marathon in February, but you've never run before, that's really not attainable. There is a whole training process that goes into it. Not that I'm any expert, I could barely run around the block without keeling over, but you get my point. Number 2, create a plan. Once you have an idea of what goals you want to achieve, create an actionable plan on how you actually are going to achieve them. If losing weight is your goal, how are you going to lose the weight? If you want to exercise, are you going to join a gym or do it at home? If you want to start a hobby or a side business, maybe you need to take a course. Take the time to figure out all of the pieces you need to be successful and plan. For me, this time last year, I knew I wanted to start a podcast. So I knew one of the things I needed to be successful was a mic to actually record my podcast. So for Christmas, I asked Santa for a mic. I also looked into courses to teach me how to actually start a podcast. It takes a little time to do the research, but if you really want to rock your New Year's resolutions, this is an important step. But the idea with a plan, or a roadmap, as I like to call it, is that you take your big goals and you break them down into smaller goals. So back to the weight loss example. If you want to lose 20 pounds by the summer, if you break that out over 5 months, then you have smaller goals of losing 4 pounds every month until then. That also helps your mindset. 20 pounds seems like a lot, but if I'm breaking that down into 4 pounds a month, that is totally doable. Number 3, map it out. While my family lives by our Google Calendar, this mama still needs a paper planner. There is something about opening a fresh planner that I just love. Consider me an office supply nerd because I just love putting pen to paper, and not just any pens. I'm obsessed with colored pens. I color code everything, even on my Google Calendar. Every family member has their own color, and I'm consistent with the same color on both the Google Calendar and my paper calendar. I struggle every year with what paper planner to buy because I've yet to find the one that I really love and that covers everything I want it to cover. But with the paper planner, it is easier to see the months laid out. When I was planning to start my podcast, I wrote down all the things I knew I had to do before I could launch, like take the course and actually learn how to record and edit and do all of that wonderful stuff. And then I actually mapped it out on my calendar. So I mapped how long it would take me to complete that course, and then picked a date shortly after that to actually launch my podcast. But mind you, as much as you plan and as much as you think you may know, there are some things that you don't know, which I learned along my course. I had actually planned to launch in April, but once I started seeing all the things that I didn't know, I had to push that date out till May. But I did it. Number 4, identify any roadblocks. When you are looking at your goals and creating a plan, look to see what roadblocks you may have. Maybe you need to take a course, but you don't have the money to do that right now. Or in order to afford the class, you need to cut back on something else. Or maybe you want to go for that promotion or a different role at your job, but your manager isn't supportive. If you identify the things now that may prevent you from reaching your goal, you're giving yourself time to create a plan to navigate around that roadblock. And let's be realistic. Other roadblocks are going to pop up throughout the year or things that will throw you off track, but this step at least gets you thinking about what might come up, and then you have a rough plan on how to address it when it does. Number 5, communicate. I cannot stress this enough. Communication makes life so much easier and can help you avoid a lot of stress and drama in your life, in all areas of life, not just in goal planning. But sharing your goals with your family and even your friends, and even possibly your manager at work, helps get them on board and maybe even get you support in achieving your goals. If you tell them what you want to accomplish, and then maybe even follow up what you need from them to help you accomplish them. If your goal is getting to the gym 3 times a week, what does that look like? Maybe you want to go in the early morning, so your husband may need to do a little bit more on those days to help get the kids up and ready for school. Or evenings are better, so you need him to help with dinner a few nights. Or to be the one to actually get the kids to sports and dance, or whatever activities they have. Or maybe it means you getting a babysitter a few nights a week. Maybe you want to take a course at work to help you build your skill sets up. I'm actually interested in moving to a different group at work, and I've talked to my manager about it. There's a bit of a skill set gap for me, so I've talked to my manager about allowing me to work on one-off projects with this group to help me build up my skill set, so that way, when a role opens up, they know I'm ready for it. I know not every company and every manager is that supportive, but you won't know until you actually have the conversation. Number 6, manage your time. And I know someone that can help you with this one. But seriously, stop wasting time. Be stronger than your excuses. And the biggest excuse I hear from moms is that they don't have time. But it's not just about finding more time. It's about being intentional with the time that you have. prioritizing what you do at that time, and setting healthy boundaries. Number 7, stay consistent. To create any good habit and to stay on track, consistency is key. When I decided to start this podcast, I made a commitment to myself that I will consistently release an episode every week. I'm 30 weeks in, or probably 32 by now, and I have not missed 1 week. When I create my to-do list, when all of my family's needs are met, the podcast is on my top priority. I make sure to get it done and edited, and then I do all of the rest of the things I want to do or that are on my list. If going to the gym is your goal, then be consistent. Make that your non-negotiable. Number 8, keep learning. If you want to grow, make changes, reach your goals, be a better person than you were yesterday, then you need to be consistently educating yourself. You want to lose weight and get healthier? You need to learn what foods are healthy for you, what foods to stay away from, what exercises will help you work on the areas you want to tone. If you want to get that promotion at work, you need to identify the skills you need for that position and what gaps you may have and learn those skills so that when you apply for that position, it's a no-brainer that you're the best one for the job. Or again, if you're crazy like me and have bigger goals and want to start your own business, there is so much you need to learn. And I'll say it again. What I'm learning is there's so much I didn't know that I didn't know. So keep learning. Number 9, create a vision board. More and more, you're hearing successful people talking about manifesting your dreams into reality and the power of visualizing your future successful self. While I am a strong believer in manifestation, I also believe that it goes hand in hand with hard work. For the past few years, I've gotten into vision boards. I actually use Pinterest, but the last 2 years, I've made a vision board using oak tag and magazines. This year, I'm actually going to do it in a couple of pages in my planner, so that way I always have it to look back on. But I love being creating and crafting, so have fun with it. It's also a way to reuse all those old magazines and not feel so guilty about recycling them. When I'm done with my oak tag vision board, I put it right outside my bedroom so that every morning when I wake up, it's right in front of my face and it helps me refocus and remind me of what I want to get out of this year. So, a huge believer in vision boards. And last but not least, number 10, get to work. Now that you have a plan in place, it's time to do the hard part, actually implementing the plan. So get to work and be stronger than your excuses. I hope you really take this week to really think about how you want to show up in 2024 and what you want your year to look like. I'll be doing the same process this week because I have really big goals for 2024. And one of those goals is to grow this show. So I ask all of you listening that if you haven't already left me a review, I would be so grateful if you took a minute to scroll down and click those 5 stars and help my 2024 dreams come true. So this is part 2 of our series this week to help you set your 2024 goals. Come back tomorrow and listen in for our next episode in the series. I'd also love to continue our conversation over in our free Mom Wife Career Life Facebook community, so head on over and check it out. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Kerri Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it in your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you would like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or join our new Facebook community. Sending you love and light until next time on the Mom Wife Career Life podcast with Kerri Pat.